Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari calls for the repatriation of looted funds without legal obstacles. Lagos State government orders fuel tankers restrict their movement to designated routes, just as owners of articulated vehicles are mandated to get their certificate of roadworthiness within 30 days. Anglican clergymen call for the disarmament of herdsmen as solution to the current killings in the northern parts of the country. And remains of the matriarch of accountancy in Nigeria, Mrs. Olutoyin Olakorin, is laid to rest amid praises and commendation. Also, 2 persons confirmed killed, about a dozen others wounded in an attack on a military patrol in northern Mali. We begin tonight in Mauritania, where President Muhammadu Buhari is calling on nations where looted assets have been stashed to release them without the usual long technicalities involved in the process of repatriation. The president was speaking on the theme, Winning the Fight Against Corruption, a Sustainable Path to Africa's Transformation, said, "We must all collectively work to place high on the agenda the need for open and participatory government, as well as the repatriation of stolen assets without procedural technicalities and legal obstacles." President Buhari also praised his administration's anti-corruption efforts so far, saying, "During the last 6 months, we have engaged in multi-sectoral dialogue with a broad range of actors, including parliamentarians, national anti-corruption agencies, civil society, media, youth and women groups, and development partners. We have convened 3 different regional consultative workshops in line with my campaign program in an effort to sensitize our people on the evil effects of corruption on our societies. These workshops will be extended to other regional blocs as we continue the fight against corruption in a bid to transform our continent." End of quote. President Buhari used the opportunity of the gathering to call on all other member states that are yet to ratify the African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption to take all necessary measures to sign and ratify it with a view to achieving its universal ratification during this calendar year, as the Republic of Mauritius just did, becoming the 40th state party to the convention. Back here in Lagos, following the tanker fire incident which claimed at least 9 lives a few days ago, the Lagos State government has issued an order restricting the movement of fuel tankers in and out of the state to a designated route. According to a statement by the state government, henceforth, fuel tankers are only allowed to apply the Okorocha Expressway via Ugudu to the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. In addition, the state government is asking all articulated vehicles to obtain a roadworthiness certificate within 30 days. The State Commissioner for Transportation, Ladi Lawanson, after a meeting with interested parties, insists that the decision has become necessary following preliminary investigations into the mishap, which is blamed on a combination of vehicular defects and human errors. Mr. Lawanson also explains that the state government is looking for alternative modes of transportation of petroleum products to separate passenger traffic from cargo movement within the metropolis. The Sokoto State Governor, Aminu Tambuwal, is asking President Muhammadu Buhari to address the security challenges ravaging the country through a review of the current security strategies. He made this call while speaking with journalists in Sokoto during the Nigeria Union of Journalists National Executive Council meeting. The governor called on journalists to report factually, fairly and accurately at all times in order to promote national unity and development.
Mr. President should do something about his service chiefs. Mr. President should do something about the security heads of this country. It is time for him to heed to the call by so many 1 million Nigerians that he should do something about those service chiefs and what they are doing. It cannot simply be incorrect to say that there is a near universal consensus that there is failure in that sector of national life. It cannot be incorrect. So we're appealing once again to Mr. President to please heed to the appeal and calls by Nigerians to review One, the leadership of security architecture in Nigeria. Two, the strategy being implemented. There is no synergy. It's clear. And you cannot confront internecine and internal crisis when you don't have information and intelligence. There is no better time than now that you must not allow your good heads to be overtaken by emotions and then misdirect and misapply your pains by misrepresenting such situations.
The Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal. Now, the Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has denied that all the anti-open grazing law enacted in his state is responsible for the frequent killings involving farmers and herdsmen. Mr. Ortom, who was speaking in our special political program, Roadmap 2019, says the state acted within its constituted powers. He told Channels Television's Ladi Akeredoluwale that the report is mischievous and ignorant.
When you talk about crises that are going on and the killings and the destruction and stealing that is going on in Nigeria today, do you remember Adamawa? Is there any law in Adamawa?
No.
Is there any law in Kaduna State? Is there any law in Plateau State? Is there any law in Edo State? Is there any law in Delta State? Is there any law in Zamfara State where killings are going on far more than what is even happening in Benue, put together with the other states? Is there any law in these places? So you can see that it is clearly out of mischief. It is wrong for anybody to say that enacting a law have aggravated crisis in any place. Since I came in, we have enacted over 15 laws for the land. It's for the good governance, and that is what the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides. So anyone alluding that this law is responsible for this crisis is just doing that out of mere mischief or completely out of ignorance.
You can watch the full interview with Governor Samuel Ortom on Roadmap 2019. It airs tomorrow right here on Channels Television at 9 p.m. The former governor of Adamawa State, Mauritania, has warned the ruling All Progressives Congress to put a stop to what he describes as the impunity that reigns among its leadership and members. Mr. Nyako was addressing some aggrieved members of the APC from the 21 local government areas of the state, observed that the party risks the same fate that befell the People's Democratic Party. He believes there is still hope that the party's new national leadership, led by Mr. Adams Oshomole, will correct the anomalies that led to the polarization of the party in many states.
Burnt-out buildings in the farming village of Dosa in Numa local government area. The smoldering ruins of razed houses and carcasses of destroyed property are left in the wake of an attack by suspected herdsmen. Some of the villagers search among the ruins to salvage whatever would be useful, while the village security patrols keep watch.
We just hear papa, anywhere, shooting. They are burning our houses, kill our peoples. At least they kill 7 peoples. They injured about 45 peoples.
Over at the General Hospital in Numan, relatives of the injured sit outside, hoping to get some heartwarming news about their condition.
Yeah, about 49 victims were recorded.
Injured?
Yes, they all came with various degrees of injury, of gunshot, cut, but they were all stabilized.
Some of the victims lament the absence of security, which places them in a serious dilemma.
These people cannot just be going all over the places and be doing this thing, perpetrating all this evil and be going scot-free. They don't have anything. Nobody is there to defend us. Nobody is there to help us and say, no, please, let's defend these people. Please, the appropriate authorities should just come to our aid and help us. Please, we are begging.
The police public relations officer, Adamawa State Command, confirms the attack to Channels Television off camera, giving the number of those killed as 5 persons. Succor is, however, on the way, as these trucks bearing relief materials courtesy of the Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative arrive in the community. Food items, sleeping and building materials are among the items delivered to the Christian Association of Nigeria for onward distribution to the residents.
We have called out the list of the items that we brought to them. So there is no way a single person now can honor anything here because it is not given through one person. And I'm sure it is going to get directly to the real beneficiaries.
While police authorities blame the youths of the area for preventing the police from gaining access to the affected community, the issue of security for vulnerable communities still remains one that is yet to be satisfactorily addressed.
Some religious leaders have advocated effective disarmament of armed herders as well as an end to cattle rustling as solutions to the current bloodletting in some parts of the country. The primate of the Anglican Communion of Nigeria, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, who made the call in Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State, explained that these steps could ensure peaceful coexistence between farmers and herdsmen. On his part, the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Kaduna, Most Reverend Timothy Yahaya, condemned the killing of innocent people by suspected herdsmen in Plateau, Benue, Taraba, and other parts of the country. He insists that if the indigenous people of Biafra could be designated a terrorist group, then the perpetrators of the killings should equally be treated as such. The noise over the recent killings in Plateau State is still vibrating across the country, with many Christian organizations criticizing the federal government's reaction to the massacre. At this peace and security meeting, organized by the Christian Association of Nigeria in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the focus is on the violence in the northern region of the country. The consensus here is that the federal government should not allow these events to destabilize the country.
Nigeria is our home. We don't have any other home. And since we don't have any other home, there should be this reorientation. There should be this paradigm shift to imbibe peace.
Let people see them doing the necessary things that needed to be done. In the aspect of security, let it be practically on ground. In the aspect of meeting the needs of the victims, let it be practically on ground.
At another gathering, this time in Kaduna State, the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Kaduna wonders why the federal government finds it difficult to label the killers as done by the international society.
And why can't we call them terrorist organization? The international community called them the fourth or the fifth most dangerous, deadly terrorist organization in the whole world. If the world called them terrorists, we must not be in this world. We are living in the moon.
You are one of them, or you know such.
For the primate of the Anglican Communion in Nigeria, the killings must not be tolerated, and the disparity between different regions in the country must be corrected.
If this killing does not stop, it is a bad thing that we bear no fruit. Because a situation where a section of the country is bare ground and the rest not having anything, we cannot move forward.
To make the move towards peace should not be as difficult, it seems. It only starts with one step. In part two, after the break, the Independent National Electoral Commission announces a swell in the number of voters come 2019 general elections. Please stay with us.